Welcome to the second podcast episode of our new Gaia's Custodians journey. For this episode again, I brought a couple of items that today play a role, play different kinds of roles in my life, and that will guide our journey today. And the first thing that I brought is a sheet I created last night. And this is a sheet of my financial situation of the past 3 months. I want to share the first quarter in 2024 just ended. I want to share with you how my journey of exploring how to live and first and foremost how to work in alignment with the whole and moving more and more into the gift economy, how this is taking place, how this is working out, because so many people are asking me, like, Robert, tell me, is this like really working? Like, is this new Earth paradigm still possible in the old Earth setting we are living right now, or is that some kind of fantasy? And I want to share with you, and I want to take this as an invitation to be even more transparent in the future. The second thing that I brought you, and this connects nicely with it, is I brought some money, because we are in our hearts exploring a completely new way of being. And from time to time, we can already feel as that it would be already here, like now, can be really strong after certain experiences with other people and with elevated stages of consciousness. It feels like the new earth is already here. And then we are reminded again, oh, we are still living in a setting where we need certain things, where we need, like, where money is like the one of the most important things in life, because we need to pay for all sorts of things that are important for living a good life. And that's one of the questions I get asked so often. It's like, how can I embody this new spirit while still needing to make a living and paying for my rent and paying my employees and paying like equipment, and if I host certain settings I need to pay a location, and like, how can I bring these two together? How can I make the new world a reality, even though I'm still living in settings where this is not fully manifested yet? And then the third thing I brought is another fruit. Last episode we had the durian accompanying us. Today we have a guava. This guava was a gift, not only from Mother Nature. It was as well a gift from my neighbor, an amazing woman living in alignment with the land and growing her own food and having a really nice piece of land with a waterfall, and I enjoy a lot spending time there. And she gifted me this guava yesterday. That's from her tree. And moments like these, when we receive gifts, always deepen my feeling of the interconnectedness of all things. And this leads us to the next item I brought. It's a small but beautiful book, Interbeing by Thich Nhat Hanh, a Vietnamese Zen master. I think one of the most extraordinary human beings that walked this planet. He passed away a couple of years ago, but his teachings are living on. And he was the first one. He basically coined this term interbeing, something that is very present in Charles Eisenstein's work. Through Charles, I stumbled upon this idea the first time, and then I dove deeper in Thich Nhat Hanh's work. And interbeing basically is the antidote to how we are as a society living in a state of separation. We feel separated from nature. We feel separated from other people. We oftentimes feel even separated from ourselves. And this separation leads us to trying to fulfill this inner emptiness, this inner disconnectedness through all sorts of external things, physical belongings. We consume in order to have a sense of completion. But this just is present maybe temporarily, and after the the glamour of something new wears off, we are back into the state of separation. And being fully rich, being like the richest human being that ever walked this planet is only possible if we realize that we are all that is. I am this tree. I am you. I am the ocean. I am the forest. And at the same time, I am the atomic bomb. And I'm the destruction. I'm everything. We are everything. And into being, the sense of the separate self fades away and gives way to a profound sense of interconnectedness, interrelatedness, interbeing. And since I stumbled upon this idea the first time 4 years ago, it's quite a journey to embody the concept of interbeing in my personal life, in my business life, in my relationships, and it does something when you look into the world through this lens. Many things that you did before don't make sense anymore, and at the same time, as I said, we are living in a material world, and bridging these dimensions is not always easy. Yeah, it's a beautiful book. Will guide our exploration today. And then the fifth thing I brought is this camera. That's my old vlogging camera. Back in the days, like a couple of years ago, I did daily vlogs on YouTube. Maybe you even saw one of them. It's already quite a while ago. That was my old camera. I had a microphone on it, and then just like these little gorilla pods. Maybe you've already seen them. And then I was walking like the streets of Berlin on my little skateboard, and I was documenting every single day of my life, 575 days. And I filmed everything that was going on, and in the morning I sat down and edited yesterday's day, and then I posted it on YouTube, and then I filmed again. And yesterday I contemplated this time. That's not something I would do now, because I don't feel the urge to like share everything, share what I eat, share which people I meet, share what I'm doing. Like I love to share, but not in this way of putting like all the minutia, all the little things like out there. But what I feel a strong urge of sharing more is the effects of the decisions I make in life, the effects they have, and the experiments that I'm embarking on. I see my whole life as basically one big experiment. And I want to share the implications of the experiments I'm doing in every way, shape, or form, because I strongly believe that it's nice to do a shift in your life, to try something out that really works nicely for you, and then afterwards sharing that with the world and say like, oh, this is what I did and this is the effects it had. It's nice. But sharing the process, for me personally, is oftentimes even more valuable. I really enjoy people sharing their process, like really sharing when they are in the midst of a transition period where they don't know how everything will unfold, but they still share it, and you are able to walk this journey with them. And that's something that I want to do even more. I see myself as a human guinea pig, as somebody who tries out things for a living, who's doing all sorts of crazy experiments. And this vlogging camera is my invitation to share more of the experiments that I'm doing with you. Not on a daily basis in some like nice videos, but in other formats like this podcast, really making the distilled version of my experiments accessible for you, and really be even more transparent. And this connects to the sheet I already showed you, and that we'll dive into later. All right, these 5 items is what I brought for today's episode. We have the Google sheet with the financial situation of the first quarter in 2024. We have 500,000 Indonesian rupiahs. We have the guava, we have the interbeing book, and we have the vlogging camera. And I think where I'd like to start today's exploration is with reminding myself that the life that we are living is a tremendous gift. Like the fact that we are alive, that I'm walking this earth, that I have feet, that I have hands, that I'm just like being able to sit here with you and talk about these topics is only a gift. I didn't earn it. I didn't do anything for it. I certainly didn't pay for it. Like that my parents had sex at this moment in time, and then 9 months later I was born. Like that's the most incredible gift. Like really contemplating what led to our human existence. Like these days, I'm having a lot of conversations with my grandma. She's 82. She lives with us here in Bali right now, and she grew up after the Second World War. And like just the fact that she and her husband, my grandpa, like just the fact that they made it through, that they survived this incredibly harsh period, and then later on my dad was born, and then later on I was born. Like all of that is just one single incomprehensible big gift. And that extends to pretty much everything that is valuable in life. Like everything is a gift. Like this forest is a gift. I didn't do anything to earn this forest. It's just there. Like this fruit. That this guava tree bears this fruit, and that I get gifted from my neighbor. Like I didn't pay for that. That was outside the monetary realm. Like clean air is a gift. Fresh water is a gift. A hug from my son is a gift. Feeling the warmth of the sunshine on my skin is a gift. When I open a coconut and I cut my finger and there's a wound, that my body is healing this wound is a gift too. Like I don't do anything for it. It's just taking place by itself. It's just the process of evolution that I'm able to witness. Yeah, I want to remind us that the most valuable things in life are all a gift. We didn't earn them. We didn't pay for them. We didn't do anything for them. They just happen. And we are able to witness them, and we are able to enjoy them, and we are able to benefit from them. Like if we go even more back in time, the fact that this planet, this beautiful Earth is existing is a gift too. That 4.8 billion years, this planet just materialized in the universe. And then almost a billion years later, the first life forms appeared on this planet. And then many more billions of years later, the first Homo sapiens arrived, like around 100,000 years ago in the African savannah. Like the first really like human beings materialized out of billions of years ago, the first single-celled life forms. All of that is a gift. Like nobody paid for that. Nobody settled an invoice for that. It's all a gift. This existence, this life. this planet, like it's all a gift. And if we remind ourselves of this fact, that the most beautiful gifts have been given to us, free of charge, without any expectation that we give something in return, then gratitude becomes the default state of life. If we realize the incredible abundance that we have been gifted, it's almost impossible not to feel tremendous gratitude in your heart. This always, like when I'm like gone in some mind games and trying to figure things out and trying to like plan ahead and do something in my business and whatever, like when I get lost and I sit down in meditation and remind myself of that the gift is at the core of is like the fabric of reality, then gratitude becomes inevitable. And like out of this deep, 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 deep gratitude comes a tremendous urge to preserve, to protect, to nourish, to nurture everything around me. Because I'm so full of this gratitude, of this like, wow, that I'm able to live at this moment in time where we are currently living through the most, like, never before in the history of human beings and never before in the history of our planet has there been so much change in such a short time frame. Like for past generations, it was super normal to live almost the same lives as their parents and their grandparents, something that is not true right now. When I look how my grandma is growing up and then I compare that to how my son is growing up now, it's completely different. It's like completely different. And yeah, these times that we are living in right now, where there's so much to witness, where there's so much to explore, where there's so much change going on, I'm like, oh my God, I won the lottery. It's this, just to be alive is me hitting the jackpot. And when I connect with that, and when I remind myself of the gratitude, like I don't think we need to do anything to feel this feeling of gratitude, because gratitude is at the core of existence. We just need to see clearly. Most people don't see clearly, don't see what is going on. They are like lost in all sorts of things that are going on in their lives, and then they need bills to pay and whatever. They're like, they cannot see clearly. But if we really see clearly that all of this is one big gift, then this gratitude that is underlying under everything gets back to the surface, and we can see it, we can feel it, we can smell it, we can hear it, we can taste it, and it's back in our awareness again. And people oftentimes say, okay, it's nice if you talk that you talk about gratitude, but if you just look out into the world, you see a lot of greed. Like most people are not really living from this place of gratitude. Most people are living from a place of scarcity. And how can you talk about gratitude if that's not what you see out there? And that's true. What is greed? Let's explore that even further. Are human beings, there are even people who say, like, being greedy, being selfish, being focused on your own personal well-being is human nature. I don't think it is human nature. I think that greed is a sensible response to you perceiving the world in scarcity. Like, really think about it. If there wouldn't be scarcity, if you wouldn't perceive something as scarce, being greedy would absolutely make no sense. If there would be an infinite amount of money in this world, and if I need money, I can just go somewhere and get it, like without limits. If money wouldn't be a scarce resource, then being greedy and trying to hoard money and not giving it away wouldn't make any sense. Everybody would be like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? You can, like, anytime you want to have more, you can just get it. Like, what are you doing there? So if you would perceive abundance, then greed would be like really stupid. So, but if you would perceive something as scarce, then greed is a natural response. Because if you're like, okay, if there's like only this one guava fruit and that's my most favorite thing to eat, then I'm like, okay, I want to have it. Like, I don't want to share. If it's just like one guava, wow, no, then I'm greedy. And let's see where this perceived scarcity is coming from, when in reality we are living in this world that was gifted to us and this incredible abundance. And the fact that we perceive the world as scarce is tightly interlinked with money. Because in order for a monetary system that we have right now, money must be scarce. If money would be in abundance, then everything like wouldn't make sense. Like, I cannot, if everybody would be able to get an infinite amount of money just by like a snap of their fingers, then it loses the ability to like change, to trade and to change the money for certain items and so on. Because if it's like abundance, I can just like take it. And like the whole economic system that we have right now is built on the basis that money is something that is scarce. And since more and more things are moving into the monetary realm that were previously outside the monetary realm, that were previously perceived in abundance, are, through its conversion into money, made into something that is scarce. Like, really think about it. Past generations, for their need of entertainment, they were just like coming together with their friends in their tribe and made music or danced. And this was not something anybody paid for. Like, the need for entertainment was something that was co-created out of the community. That's why it was in abundance there. Like, anytime you felt the need for music, you would just like make music. It was full abundance. Like, it was this this uh this uh this this image that I painted of, like, whenever you need money, you can snap your finger and then you have an unlimited amount. The same was true for entertainment for past generations. And not only entertainment, community, the same. Like, now when we want to feel community, we pay money and go to a kirtan, like a singing circle here in Bali, very popular. I pay like 200,000, 300,000 rupiah. That's like 15 euro, 20 euro. And then I attend this singing circle in order to get a sense of community. What past generations did is, community was just like with their neighbors. Like, if they had a need for community, they opened their door, and then they walked 10 meters and they opened the neighbor's door, and then community was there. It was outside the monetary realm. And the same is true for so many more things, so many more needs, like the need for food. Past generations, they were living in alignment with the land, deeply connected with the land, and if there was a need for food, they just went out, and they knew where to get certain things. Be it picking this beautiful guava from the tree or hunting an animal, but they just could do it. They didn't need to pay anybody for it. So that's why food was there in abundance. Every time they were hungry, they just went out there and got something. And nowadays, if I'm hungry, I go to a restaurant, I need to pay somebody. So through the conversion of all these essential human needs, like community, like food, like entertainment, like so many more things, to the conversion of all of them into money, like nowadays, most people are not able anymore to fulfill their need of community without money, fulfill their need of entertainment without money, fulfill their need of food without money. And by that being the case, all the things that were previously in abundance are now rendered scarce. So while it, like, for past generations, it would be super stupid to be greedy, because if you wanted to have community, you could just like get it. If you wanted to have entertainment, you could get it. If you wanted to have food, you could just like get it. So being greedy is like, if you're living in this amazing forest and there are so many like fruit trees and there are animals to hunt and so ever, and then being greedy and saying like, this is my tree, only I will get this guava, when there are like an incredible abundance of other trees, everybody would be like, huh? What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Okay, take this tree. If I'm hungry, I can just go to this tree, or to this tree, or to this tree, or to this tree. There's an abundance of trees. But nowadays, things look different, because we converted so many of our needs into the monetary realm. We are almost incapable of fulfilling them outside the monetary realm, and that's why they are rendered scarce. So money is the tool that is responsible for this perceived scarcity. And the thing is that for our current economic system to work, it needs to grow all the time. Like, if our current economic system doesn't grow, if not every single second more and more things are converted into the monetary realm, then our economic system will collapse. It's built on the foundation of growth. And if it's not growing, then it will collapse. So we are almost bound to converting more and more things into the monetary realm, just in order to be able to uphold the system we created. So it's not our fault that we see the world through this lens of scarcity. It's built into the fabric of our current system. And if we realize that scarcity and abundance is just a perception of reality, but we created institutions like money that make it really hard for nowadays generations to perceive this abundance, when almost everywhere they look, they see this kind of scarcity. One more thing I want to add to that is that waste. I want to talk about waste. Like, that there are people on this planet that are suffering because of a lack of food is absolutely unnecessary. Like, from a technical standpoint of the availability, like the amount of food that is available on this planet is more than enough to feed all of us. But while one part of the world throws away food, the other part of the world goes hungry. Like, when you see, it always like, I cannot comprehend when I eat at restaurants and I see the amount of food that most people leave on their plates. I'm like, why the fuck did you order so much? Like, ordering like 3 big dishes and then letting 1 or 2 of them go back to waste is like you could feed another 2 people for what you ordered and then went to trash. So this perceived sense of scarcity on this planet is only because we distribute the resources not in an ideal way. Because we waste so much, somewhere down the road can only arise scarcity. Because if, let's say, we're living in this abundant forest and there's like guava trees everywhere, and then everything that we do is like climbing all the trees and harvesting all the fruit, and 70% of the fruit we just like throw away, then of course it's a natural byproduct of this behavior that there will be people who are suffering of hunger. But if we would like collect all the fruit and distribute all the fruit among all the people, then the whole village is satisfied. and everybody's hunger is satisfied. Another form of waste is owning certain things that you use super infrequently, like owning a lawnmower, or owning a power drill, or owning a flat screen TV that you only use maybe once a month or once a week, and the rest of the time this just like sits there without any purpose. That's another form of waste. Owning things, possessing things that you don't use often is one of the most like hidden forms of waste. Imagine like you are having this lawnmower, and well, before you were using it twice a month to cut your grass. You are sharing it with the whole community so that the lawnmower is in use every single day. Because today I use it, then tomorrow my neighbor, and then the day after somebody else, and then a friend, and then the cousin of somebody, and the lawnmower gets used all the time. Then one lawnmower can serve like a full community. Well, before, in the separated lives we are living currently, like everybody owns their own lawnmower, and the majority of the time these lawnmowers just like sit somewhere and are not being used. That's a very very common form of waste. So if we redesign our living systems and we approach a more sharing lifestyle, a more community-oriented lifestyle, this perceived sense of scarcity slowly can fade away, and we realize the abundance that was there all the time, but we just created settings where we were unable to see this abundance. So that's something that's what I said before with gratitude. Gratitude being at the absolute foundation of life. But if we live our lives in a way that we cannot see this gratitude, it feels like it is not there. If we live our lives in a way that we are not in touch with this abundance that is underneath everything, then it feels like it's not there. We feel like the scarcity feels so real, but the scarcity is artificially made through the way we live our lives, through the kind of decisions we made. But the abundance is at the core of everything. We just need to be able to see clearly again and make a couple of adjustments in the way we live. And then we're like, oh, it was there all along. Why didn't I see it? Like that's a reaction I get from so many people when they're living in cities, and then they go back into nature, and then they take a walk in the forest. They are like, after spending a couple of hours in the forest, they go back and like, oh my God, this is accessible. Like this was accessible all along. Just being here in this forest without needing to do anything, it calms me down tremendously. I feel like so invigorated, so vibrant, so refreshed. This was there all along. I just needed to go there. Oh my God, how easy is that? Wow. And then another thing that money is doing is that it takes away the uniqueness of all things. Money strengthens the illusions that there are things that are the same. Like, let's stay with our example of the singing circle. Like past generations, when they felt a need for entertainment, they were just coming together with their tribes, with their families, with their friends, and they brought some instruments, and then they were making music together. And every single one of these circles would be unique. Like there will be a unique spirit that will unfold like today. And when we come back for another circle next week, it will be different, because different people will participate. There will be a different energy. There will be different songs. Like everything will be different. Like so, this experience that we will have today is completely unique. But if this singing circle would enter the monetary realm, and people would pay an entrance fee to participate, it takes away something of the uniqueness, because in order to attend today's singing circle, I would need to pay probably 200,000 rupiah. And if I cannot make it today, I can attend next week's singing circle and will be again another 200,000 rupiah, and the week after another 200,000. So in my mind, this illusion gets created of the interchangeability of these singing circles. Okay, I can go this week or I can go next week. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's the same. It's the same format. It's the same like singing circle at this place for another 200K, and like it creates this illusion of this is the same. While in reality, this cannot be the same because it's completely unique. Because like money is the only thing where two things, where two components, two items are really the same. Like I have this 100,000 rupiah bill and I have another 100,000 rupiah bill. If I go to a shop in order to pay with it, it doesn't matter if I hand over this bill or that bill. Like there will not be anybody who says like, no, I will not take this for your payment, but I will take this. No, that would be stupid. Everybody is like, okay, give me this or that, whatever. It's just like 100,000. But that's not something that is the case, like in nature. If you have a look at a guava fruit, it is different than the other guava fruit that I might pick up tomorrow, and it tastes different. And last podcast episode, I brought a durian. Durian is for me personally the personification of that, because like a durian is a fruit where every fruit tastes differently. The reason why so many people have a distaste for it, while they haven't even tasted a really good durian, is because they probably got one and it tasted like onions and stinky feet, and it was really like disgusting. And then they concluded that durian is something that they don't like. While in the reality, there are some durians that fell prematurely and they are not ripe. They just like taste like crap. And then there are other durians that ripen on the tree until they were ready, and then they were harvested, and you exactly open it at the right time, and it's absolutely heaven. And both are considered durian, even though the experience and the fruit is like completely different. And that's why I would call the durian the queen of the fruit kingdom, because it's still so wild. It's still so like, it's so outside this interchangeability that money brought into our worlds. Like if you go to the supermarket and you buy a banana, then it will probably taste pretty similar to the other banana that you bought yesterday. But with the durian, that's not the case. Durian is still like so wild, so raw. Every fruit is different. And if we go out into nature, there is no the same. That's just a concept that's not existing, because everything is different. Like every ant is different. Every leaf is different. There is no such thing as the same. But for money, this characteristic is this characteristic is introduced, that there is this 100,000 rupiah bill and another one. And it doesn't matter if I have this one or that one. So I lose through the conversion of things into the monetary realm, I lose this sense of uniqueness of things, the inherent uniqueness that is present in everything, everyone, every human being that is there. It even has an effect on human beings. Human beings become replaceable through money. If I need somebody to clean my house, or if I need somebody to watch my child, or if I need somebody to repair my my broken refrigerator, then I can just hire somebody. I can hire a nanny, or I can hire a cleaner. But whoever fits into this category of the cleaner or the nanny doesn't matter. It's interchangeable. Even like when you go onto platforms, when I was living in Germany, I sometimes use the platform TaskRabbit. You go on TaskRabbit if you need somebody to perform a certain task, like repairing your fridge or whatever it is. And then people become interchangeable. There's like there's like a fee that is the same for everybody. For X hours, for X euro an hour, you can hire somebody, and then you don't even know who is coming. Like the platform sends you somebody, like whoever is available, they match that with the algorithm and so on, and then they send you somebody. And the person becomes interchangeable. The person becomes the same. Like one person becomes the same as the other person, as it is the case with money. And that's something for me personally that feels very wrong. That feels very, very, very wrong. And what I already said with the exploration of abundance and scarcity is that scarcity is not something that is natural. It's not something that is human nature. And the same is true for this dynamic between uniqueness and interchangeability through the introduction of money. Like, people are not interchangeable. Fruits are not the same. They are unique. Every human being, everything, every animal, every plant has its unique spirit, its unique taste, its unique capabilities, its unique strength, its unique weaknesses, its unique shapes, forms, and so on. Smell, whatever. But through the introduction of money, we lose sense of this uniqueness. And I personally feel that this uniqueness it's so important that we connect again to this uniqueness, because otherwise we lose so much of the richness of life. If all the human beings are interchangeable, if all the fruits are interchangeable, like, what kind of world have we created? What kind of world have we created if everything is interchangeable? Yeah. And we lose a majority of the richness, of the fullness of life. And that's why we feel separated. If we feel separated, we feel fundamentally poor. If I disconnect to the richness, to the abundance, to the uniqueness of life, if I disconnect to that, I can only feel very, very poor. And out of this perceived sensing of poorness, like, you need to accumulate, you need to get things on the outside. But as it is the case with money and everything that money can buy, when things are interchangeable, when things are not unique anymore, they don't add a lot of value to your life. Like, the value that gets added to my life by this 100,000 rupiah bill is like almost like nothing. Of course, I can buy something with it, but besides that, it's like, But this fruit, this guava fruit, that's unique, and that there was a gift from my neighbor yesterday, and has a unique shape and a unique smell. Like, I wouldn't trade it for another guava fruit. I want this guava fruit. I want this one. But that's not the case with money. And through money rendering these beautiful, unique things as like just mere commodities that are interchangeable, we lose so much of the richness of life. And this has a profound effect on our work too. Because in the work landscape, as I already mentioned, like, if you need somebody to watch your child, or to clean your house, or to repair your fridge, or to design your website, or whatever it is, like, people become interchangeable. People become interchangeable, and this introduces a profound sense of meaninglessness into our lives. And then we feel like hamsters caught in a wheel, and we're just like doing our things, doing our chores, doing our job. But this richness, this uniqueness is lost. We're doing things for the money. And then we depart even further from what Charles Eisenstein calls sacred work. And that's a concept that I want to touch upon briefly, because work is something that we invest so much time, so much energy into. Like a huge portion of our lives are spent at work, whatever we are doing, regardless of whether we are having like a job at a company, or we are doing our own business, or whatever we are doing. Like, we spend so much time at work. And if this work doesn't fulfill us deeply, doesn't nourish us deeply, is not an expression of our deepest gifts, then this has a profound effect on our lives. And the antidote for me is seeing our work as something that is sacred. Imagine Mozart making his symphonies, or Michelangelo painting the Sistine Chapel. These things are almost too sacred to call them work, and they are absolutely too sacred to afterwards send people an invoice and let them compensate you for your work. Because if you're doing your sacred work, you don't need to be compensated. Your work is your deepest fulfillment. It's like what you desire most to express, to bring your gifts into the world, to contribute whatever is most alive in you, and to enrich the lives of other people, and to enrich this planet with it. Then afterwards, writing an invoice, hey, this is 500,000 rupiah, please transfer now. Like, this is almost a violation. This is almost an insult to somebody like Michelangelo or Mozart. I believe the most beautiful work, the most sacred work that we can do, can only be a gift. Imagine your parents on your 18th birthday handing over an invoice to you. Okay, this is the work that we performed for you over the past 18 years. We fed you, we nourished you, we dressed you, we gave you a home to sleep in. This is your invoice now. Our job is done. How would you feel? You would feel a sense of, oh, I thought you were loving me. I thought you, as my parents, you were loving me, but all the time you were just performing a job. Like, this would be your feeling. You would feel a profound sense of meaninglessness. And the same is true for the work that we are doing. If we are doing the most profound, most deep, most special, most meaningful sense of work, then I believe it can only be a gift. It can only be given away. Like, everything your parents did for you when you were growing up, it was a gift. They gifted it to you because they loved you. And if I'm performing my sacred work, I want to give it away. I want this work to be a gift to humanity, a gift to this planet, a gift to the whole collective. And somehow writing an invoice afterwards, or setting up a paywall and say, like, you can only benefit from my sacred work, you can only benefit from my personal gifts if you pay X amount, this just feels wrong. This just feels wrong. And because, like, if I received everything that I'm doing to perform my work, if everything was a gift, it feels somehow unethical to say, like, okay, I was gifted all these things. It's like if you got a gift for your birthday, and then the next day your friend who gave you the gift found out that you sold this present for money, he would feel like, huh? Like, really? Really? I gifted this to you and then you sold it to somebody else? No, this feels wrong. This feels super wrong. And in my opinion, the same is true for our sacred work. If, like, everything what we were gifted to, like all our physical capabilities, our mental capabilities, of course, we put in hours to hone them, to really bring them to life. But even the capability to hone my gifts, to hone my skills, to hone my abilities, even the capability to do that was a gift. Then, like, I can only gift it away. If you get a present for your birthday and then the next day you meet somebody else and you're like, oh my God, this present would serve you even in a more beautiful way than it serves me. I want to pass on this gift to you. Then of course your friend who gave you the gift, he would feel like, yeah, beautiful. I gave you this gift and you gifted it to another person. Amazing. But if you resold his gift, then he would feel like, no, I don't like that. So I see a strong connection between seeing your work as something that is sacred and almost I would say the invitation, but almost it's all, for me personally, it feels almost mandatory if you're leaning more and more into your sacred work to give that away and not to write an invoice afterwards, not to create a paywall that decides which people can benefit from your gift and which people cannot. And these realizations that are slowly sinking more and more deeply into myself over the past 3-4 years, since for the first time I came across this concept of the gift economy introduced to me by Charles Eisenstein's amazing book, Sacred Economics, exploring how we can create a different economic model that doesn't put the scarcity, but the abundance at the core, and that actually enriches our lives and not, as it is right now, sucks it empty. So the more I explored over the past 3 or 4 years, the stronger my conviction became to lean more and more fully into this new world, of doing business, into this new world of working. It feels like a completely different paradigm. Seeing everything that I put out there as a gift that I have received and now as a gift that I'm paying forward puts me into the circularity, into the cycle of life. Because I feel that me taking gifts and then selling them would somehow remove me from the magic of life. I don't know if you can connect to this feeling, but I strongly sense that I'm like blocking the flow. I'm like stepping out of this flow if I would sell my gifts. I would feel like a sellout. There's this word for it. I would feel like a sellout. Like, but please be aware that all the things that I'm saying are not to convey this notion of money is bad, or that it's unethical to take money for your work. Because yeah, we're living still like with one leg. We are in the new paradigm where probably we don't even money because everybody is in full abundance and everybody is contributing their gifts and then gifting it away, and I don't need money because I produce this, you produce that, and it's enough for everybody because we're living in a community and we can fulfill most of our needs without the use of money. And then maybe we will not even we will not even need this anymore. But in the reality that we are living in right now, we need it. And I'm not saying that it's unethical to take money for your work. But what I'm saying is that it, for me personally, feels wrong to sell something. And it feels so much more true to myself to gift something and to receive gifts in return. For a gift to unfold its true beauty, it's important that there is somebody who gives this gift with their whole heart, like wholeheartedly. And then the second part of the equation is a person who receives this gift with gratitude. If there would just be somebody who gives this gift and nobody to receive it, then there wouldn't be a gift. And if there's just somebody who receives it and nobody who gives it, then it wouldn't be a gift. For a gift to exist, there needs to be somebody who wholeheartedly, generously gives it and somebody who graciously receives it with tremendous gratitude. Then we have a gift. And then both people are enriched. And that's something completely different than the cold, anonymous transactions that are present in our modern day economic system. Like that I bought this camera from some kind of shop for a fixed price that is the same for every other customer, doesn't create any connection for me personally with the shop or with the people who produce this camera. It's just like a commodity. If this camera breaks, I pay the same amount of money again and I get the same camera again. So that's why, of course, there's not a really deep connection to like this camera. But in contrast, the guava, there was a gift from a neighbor that I got yesterday. I feel a much more emotional connection with this guava than with this camera, even though the camera is so much more worth in a monetary form. But this was a gift. That was like this guava connected me more closely with my neighbor. But this camera didn't connect me any more closer to the camera shop because I paid for it. It's a commodity. But this, I cannot. If I lose this one, I cannot get the same again because there is no such thing as the same. I cannot go to my neighbor and say, unfortunately, I lost the guava that you gave me yesterday. Please, can you give me the same again? No, I cannot do that. There is no same guava, and I cannot even force a gift. I cannot ask for a gift. I cannot, like, that takes away the whole magic. Like, a gift just happens when the right time is there. Maybe my neighbor next week will come and say, here's another guava. And this doesn't replace the first one. It's another gift. And it enriches me again, and it deeply connects us again. So exchanging gifts leads to a strengthening of community, leads to a strengthening of connection. But paying for goods and services doesn't do that. This leads to the commodification, to the homogenization of life. Things become interchangeable. Things lack meaning. And all these realizations led me to the point of the past years, more and more stepping into the realm of the gift economy. So that means that when I created something like a workshop or like a coaching program or whatever, I started experimenting with not putting any price tag on it, making it a commodity, but instead gifting it away and say like, hey, I created this beautiful workshop. You can just participate in it. Here, it's a gift to you. And if you dive into the workshop, and if this workshop brings any meaning to you in your life and value, and you afterwards feel a sense of, wow, I was enriched. I feel gratitude that I was gifted this workshop because it was really valuable for me. I learned a lot. I had a great time. I had a great experience. And then afterwards, you sense this feeling of gratitude and you're like, I want to give a gift in return. Then I received this gift with tremendous gratitude. And then people were invited to sense what they want to gift in return. If they didn't want to gift anything in return, that's equally fine. Because if I tie my gift to a gift in return, then it's not a gift anymore. I can only give it away. And then you are invited to check in what this gift that you just received evoked in yourself. And then if you felt the gratitude, and if you wanted to give something in return, here are my bank details, and you can send a gift in return, and I will receive that with tremendous appreciation. And the first time I did that, of course, I was super nervous because I was still like conditioned by the old paradigm of like in traditional business terms, this doesn't make any sense. Like traditional business terms builds on the assumption that people pay as little as possible. It builds on the assumption that human beings are greedy. And if you give the option to pay nothing, everybody will pay nothing. Because if the old paradigm believes that people will jump only as high as they need to, people will only pay as much as they are forced to. And if you don't force people to pay a certain amount, they will not do it. Because the old paradigm believes that every single human being is greedy and selfish and exploitive. And we need to control them. We need to create sanctions for people who steal things, and this is the only measure to prevent them from stealing. If there would be no sanctions, then everybody would steal, everybody would take advantage, everybody will take everything for free. And of course, I was still like a little bit conditioned by this old paradigm. And the fact that when I leaned into the gift economy for the first time and I hosted my first workshop in the gift, that I actually received gifts in return was so beautiful. I was sitting there and I was like, oh my God, this person could have sent me nothing. And he or she instead decided to send me 300 euros without needing to, without the necessity to do so. But no, their gratitude made it a necessity. For them, it was an expression of their gratitude to send me these 300 euros. This had a profound healing effect. This was an incredible experience. This was an absolutely incredible experience to realize that no, not everybody is selfish. Not everybody will exploit. Not everybody will pay as little money as possible. There are human beings out there that when you encounter them with trust and with abundance and with a gift, maybe their behavior will even change. Maybe that even would be a person that in the past exploited everything and everyone around them, but through you treating them from a different place, through you encountering them from this place of gift, a profound change inside themselves happened too. Like so many people wrote me, "Oh my God, Robert, in this whole online business world where you feel all the scarcity and you feel all these like high prices and whatever, that there is somebody who just gives you something as a gift and don't ask for something in return, makes it optional for you to return something." This had a profound healing effect on me too. And out of this generosity that I felt, I needed to, like though it was impossible for me to exploit that. Through this generosity, I could only give something in return because I felt so honored. I felt so deeply touched. So like there was healing on both sides. Both sides felt enriched. Both sides felt gratitude. And that's something that's impossible to achieve, to put a workshop out there that costs us $300 and people sign up for it and PayPal you the money and they just participate in the workshop. And maybe the content was great and they're like, oh my God, that was a nice workshop experience. Cool. But this deeper sense of healing and gratitude that could arise out of the gift is not something that we can achieve in the old paradigm, in the old like business paradigm. And like the more I did these experiments, I expanded the realm of the gift to one-on-one coachings I did, and to like group mentoring programs, and to retreats and so on. And the more I embarked on these experiments, the deeper the spirit of the gift sank inside myself. And where I am right now is a strong determination to expand this realm even further and to fully step into the gift. Right now, after 4 years of experiments, of trying and experimenting and leaning more closely into it, and then making 2 steps in this direction and then 1 step back, because of course there were experiences where I gifted something and the people didn't honor that, and there was no gratitude, and then there was either no gift or just a little gift in return. Of course, things like these were super normal, and like disappointment that I felt, or the feeling of being of not being seen for the gifts I contribute, and so on and so on. It was a huge growth process for me, which was not easy all the time, which was actually not easy most of the time. But this whole journey led me now to the point where I feel that there is no other way. The only way is to jump fully into the gift. A couple of weeks ago, I had a vision. I had a vision of a truly free human being. I had the vision of a human being that is expressing his or her gifts fully and gifting all of them into the world without selling anything, just gifting it. And through that, each and every single day, creating so much value, so much beauty for this world, that he receives an overflow of gifts in return. But these gifts, they come in occasionally. They come in like infrequently. They are not planned. Like I had this vision of doing business in a way that you gift everything away. Like every day you are of service, like to each and every single person in one-on-one coaching or in a workshop or in a book you write or everything you gift away. And everything is a service. And then you just put your bank details out there. And whenever somebody feels the urge to send you something, they can just do that. And maybe you do a coaching with a person who's super broke right now, and then 4 months later, when the financial circumstances have changed, they are like, oh my God, you changed my life back in the days, and I were not able to afford your coachings, but it was a gift, and I'm so grateful. Here, I want to transfer you 3,000 euros, bam, in your bank account. Knowing that whenever you open your bank account, you will not see the money you already expected, because you know, okay, I sold this coaching, they needed to pay for it, they settled the invoice, okay, good. But whenever you open your bank account, you see an inflow of gifts that you didn't expect, where you didn't know who will send you something, and you didn't know to what extent like a gift will manifest, like how much people will send you. This felt so beautiful. And at the same time, it felt so independent. Because there was another incident where, like over the past years, I'm more and more trying to make myself independent of the current system. That's not working. That's why we unsubscribed from Germany, because like knowing that in a couple of years my son must go to school and to participate in this broken education system is so wrong. Or with me, like running a German company and supporting like all these sorts of things that I don't want to support, and having all this like paperwork and all this legal stuff, and the need to employ like a tax consultant, and like, this whole apparatus feels wrong. And I had this epiphany that when you don't sell something, you are not doing business anymore. And when you're not doing business anymore, there is no need for a company. There is no need for a tax consultant. There is no need for tax software. There is no need for all that stuff that we created. I could just be a free human being, and I have my bank account, ideally with a bank that is as ethical as possible and as sustainable as possible. I'm currently in the process of figuring out which bank is the best option for that. If you have any recommendations, send them my way. That would be highly appreciated. And I'm just a free human being, and I'm gifting all my gifts away. And then when something wants to give a gift in return, it's a donation. It's just a donation. I can just receive it. I don't need a company, because I'm not writing any invoices. And this realization was so liberating. Really feeling I can just be myself, and I have my bank account, and I gift everything away. And when somebody wants to give something in return, they can just do it, and I receive it. And there's like all this hassle, all this outside hassle of needing to employ people and needing to work with softwares where you put in your revenue, and then like you have this like incredible amount of work and this incredible amount of money you need to pay to uphold a system that you don't even want to support, and all of that becoming probably redundant when you step into the gift fully, because you can just be yourself, and you put out your gifts and you receive gifts in return, and you can just live your life without needing to support this whole apparatus, and without needing to be a slave of this whole apparatus, without needing to file your taxes, without needing to do this, without needing to do that, and everything you're doing being a gift. And then from the gifts you receive, you give gifts again in return. You support beautiful beautiful NGOs that you want to support. You support causes with, like, you can choose where your money is going. And like, this whole notion felt so free, so liberating, and at the same time so beautiful and so easy. And I believe the deepest truths are always easy. If things are complicated, if things are like, oh, I need to like 10 different things, and I don't know, like, then it doesn't feel like the truth. It feels like the truth when it's super easy, when it's super straightforward, when it's super clear. Then I feel a profound sense of truth in it, and a profound sense of beauty in it. That's why I love meditation, because meditation is, it doesn't mean like, meditation is not like always effortless. Meditation can be hard, can be very hard, but it's no rocket science. It's just like, there's a simplicity to it. And I feel the same with this vision I had of how future generations, or maybe even our current generation, if we decide to make the leap, can work like creators, coaches, people who are just wanting to spread their gifts, who are just here to make meaningful work, to make sacred work, how they could operate in a so much simpler way. Of course, this way asks them to face all their shadows and to be of full trust and to be in full surrender, which is super hard, which is way harder than writing invoices and working with a tax software and so on. But I feel that this is a step that enriches you on such a deep level that when you face your demons this way, you become truly free and truly liberate. And all the outside things in your life become so much more easy. Because if I make the step into full gift, like so many of the tools that I currently need, so many of the things that I currently need to do, so many of the like people I need to employ to write invoices and to check the account and whatever, I don't need to do this anymore. I don't need to do this anymore. I can just spread my gifts, that I can just do the things that fulfill me the most. And yeah, I had this vision of a truly free and at the same time truly enriched and independent human being, spreading his or her gifts and receiving gifts in return without the need of this whole apparatus that we built. And this inspired me to make this shift right now, in the here and now. Not selling anything anymore, not writing any more invoices, not creating any more products and launching them, but instead creating from the bottom of my heart and put the things out there as a gift to people. And then receiving any gifts that out of gratitude people want to give in return with gratitude on my side. And of course, this scares me. Of course, there's still, even after 4 years of experiments, there's still this voice inside my head, or people will take advantage of you. You will not be able to pay your bills. And even in this unique situation where I am right now, that there's a huge amount of outstanding repayments I need to issue to people who supported my endeavor with the Thrive Villages and who didn't participate in it, but still invested in it. And I want to issue the repayments to these people. And with this big amount looming on the on the horizon, and I see that all the time, and I'm connected to all that, and I know that I'm each and every single day making steps in this direction to reduce the amount that is outstanding every single day. Still, there's a lot to repay. Knowing that and still making this full transition into the gift feels very, very scary. But somehow the universe is forcing me to do it. I cannot not do it. Even though my inner need for safety, for predictability, like people ask me, hey, Robert, please tell me, like, I invested this amount of money. You need to tell me by which date I will get a refund of my Thrive Passport. And I always say, I cannot tell you the date because as much as I would love to tell you the date, if I tell you a date and then in the end I cannot make it possible, then you will be disappointed. And I don't want to do that. So I need you to trust that I will give my best, that when the moment is there, you will get your repayment. I cannot predict it because life is fundamentally unpredictable. Like me trying to make a prediction is ultimately not possible. In the best case, it works out and then we are both happy. But in the worst case, it doesn't work out and then you are disappointed. So that's why I can't make a prediction up front. Yeah. And still, without this, like without me, with me feeling scared, I still sense I cannot not do this. I can only jump into the realm of the gift fully. Because the other voice that's present in myself too tells me, the more you step into service, the more you step into the gift, the faster you will be able to issue the repayments, because you're not blocking the energy anymore. Because you are contributing everything you have and everything you are to being of service to the world. And I had so many experiences in the past years, and probably you as a creator, as a coach, as an entrepreneur can relate to that. You create something beautiful, and then you have a sales call with a potential participant of your retreat or your coaching program or whatever you're hosting, and then they are super into, but then in the end they're like, no, I decided not to do it because it feels like a lot of money and so on. And I had multiple people who are like, oh my God, Robert, what you are offering, I absolutely need this. And I felt a hell yes too, let's work together. And then in the end, like our co-creation didn't manifest because they changed their mind because it was too expensive. While in reality, if I would have gifted, they were like, oh my God, fully in, let's do this. We would do meaningful work together. And I know that out of gratitude, they will probably have gifted either the same or maybe even more than what I was asking for in the beginning. But out of me creating this artificial scarce setting of you can only profit from my gifts if you pay like X amount upfront, I created conditions where this couldn't manifest, where like gifts couldn't flow back to me because I was not like, when I am not fully 100% giving my gifts away, then the gifts cannot flow back to me because I'm blocking the flow, and I will not block the flow anymore. So whichever coaching program, workshop, retreat, book, whatever I'm putting out there, it will be living fully in the gift. I will not block the flow anymore. I will not let my inner sense of scarcity, my inner need for control block the sacredness of my work anymore. And that feels like a huge statement. It scares me, and at the same time, it liberates me. And I sense that it will enrich my life in a way that I cannot even foresee. But I will do this step. So from now on, everything I will do will be living in the gift. There will be no invoices anymore. There will be no fixed prices anymore. Everything I'm doing is a gift to the world. And if you feel the urge to give something in return out of gratitude, know that I will receive all the gifts with tremendous appreciation. Yeah. And I sense that this approach could be a cure for the problem of most creators. Like the amount of conversations I had over the past 10 years with creators, with coaches, with just like people who just from the bottom of their heart want to spread their gifts and want to work with people and want to help people and want to enrich lives, and that are stuck in spending most of their time in doing something that is maybe leading to them being able to work with people and maybe not. They're doing like Instagram stories and they're doing like all these sales things and setting up funnels and doing ads and writing newsletters and so on, things that they think they need to do in order to further down the road be able to work with clients. But stepping into the gift fully could help you get rid of all this stuff that you don't even want to do. We only need to do so much marketing because people don't know that what they will be getting from you will be worth it. Like I only need to post like every day Instagram stories and like all this content out there and doing all these sales calls because people are afraid that they will make a bad deal and that they will buy something and that it will be overpriced and that it will not be worth it. But if they can decide what they want to give back, if there's no risk in it for them, of course the need to do all this talking and all these things and all this marketing and so on, that would just fade away. And I will not need to do all of that. And I could spend my time doing what I love doing the most, and that is working with people. How beautiful is that? And it will create such a tremendous ease, and you being able to focus on what you truly want to do without needing to do all these other things that you just currently need to do because you created this artificial setup with this huge paywall for your service. And yeah, what drives me to embark on this journey, like all in, like radical, is not only what it could gift me in my life, but I see myself as a human guinea pig, and I want to explore how to live in a new reality in order to share this process, in order to let others participate in my journey, so that it may probably give them with the confidence, or maybe even in the beginning the perspective of what this could do to their lives too. So transparency is a very important thing for me on my journey. Like years, like maybe even 5-6 years ago, I had this vision of a fully transparent company with an office that is built out of glass, where you as a customer, or just like as a stranger, you could just go there and you can attend meetings and you can see what in the boardroom gets discussed. There are no walls, there are no barriers. Like everything is 24/7 live streamed. There's no place to hide anymore. Imagine how you as a company would make decisions if everybody out there would know all the details, so that you cannot do like the thing that makes revenue but in the long run destroys the planet, or is bad for your employees, or is a product that is not making the highest amount of value and that will ultimately lead to the dissatisfaction of your customers. That you are not able to do this anymore because everybody would know, and nobody would buy if they know that you are making this decision out of these reasons, and everybody would be like, oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to work with this company. Like this fully transparent company, and this like everything this out of glass, where you can see through and you can witness and you can really dive into all the intricacies of what this company is doing and why they are doing that and how they're making decisions and how they're treating their employees and so on. Like this would have such a liberating effect on the world. But so far, I try to uphold to this value and to share and to talk. But I sense that I somehow didn't have the right, or didn't create the right container for it. And I see this podcast as a beautiful container, so that from now on, for every month, I want to do a quick report how this experiment is going, and I want to share with you like the financial side, if it's really working, like what amount of gifts are coming in, and if am I able to pay like everything that I need to pay, because I'm still with one world, live in the old world, and with one leg live in the old world and need money and so on. And yeah, I want to share even more, and I sense that this podcast is a nice container for that, to document my journey into the gift fully. And the first step I want to do now, I prepared a little overview of the first quarter of 2024, like the first 3 months, January, February, and March. of this year where I started to lean into the gift, but not fully. But besides not me leaning fully into the gift, I already over these 3 months received gifts of a little of over 6,000 euros, which make me incredibly grateful. And it's like people have sent me 6,511 euro that they didn't need to send me. Like incredible. Like how incredible is that? There could be just like the number could be just zero. But no, people said I want to send you this money. That's incredible. But yeah, even now, like the majority of the inflow of over in first quarter was from doing traditional business, from selling goods and services. 18K came through traditional business and another 1.5K I put in privately. So there was an inflow of 26,000 euros in the first quarter and an outflow of 29,000 euros, like the majority being used for the repayments of the outstanding amounts of the past. 6K for team costs, for amazing human beings who are supporting what I'm doing, who are co-creating with me on the book that I'm writing right now, and all the other things that need to get done, which I'm immensely grateful for, and another 5K of other business expenses, and 4.5K to enable me to live life, to pay for rent and so on. That's how the first quarter developed, and I'm extremely curious how this journey will continue. As I said, I want to share with you a monthly update of the numbers, and at the same time of the non-quantifiable things, how I'm feeling and how this process is unfolding and how it is to live in the gift. And you can in real time see whether it's really working, whatever working means. Let's find it out. I'm very excited for it. Feels really like a next phase in my life. It really feels like a profound step, even though this step started to unfold over the past 4 years. It feels like now is a pivotal moment. Because before I was always like, the door was open and I was experimenting in this new paradigm. And at the same, the door to the old world was open too. And I was always free to just like sell something. If I need money, okay, I created like some courses and I can sell them, and I know that I will earn money from it. But closing the second door, closing the door to the old paradigm, and making the decision to not sell anything anymore feels scary. And at the same time, it feels liberating because I don't want to sell anything. I don't want to sell anything. I don't want people to buy anything from me. I want to contribute. I want to gift what is of highest, of deepest meaning for me personally, and I want to put that out there into the world. And then it's up to the people who receive it. What is there? What emerges for them? I don't want to cater to anybody because I know that they will pay a lot of money for me. No, I want to do my sacred work. I want to follow what is of highest, deepest meaning for me in every single moment, and I want to put that out there. And I know that through this process, I will attract the right people who will benefit from that. And whatever they will send in return, I don't know, and I surrender to that. And yeah, sure. Over the past 4 years, I already received a lot of proofs that this is working. I think over the past 4 years already, let me give a quick estimate, maybe close to 100K, 100,000 euros I was able to receive as a gift for all the different formats of all the different settings. Could be around 100K. So it's working. I already witnessed it. But so far it was a small side thing to the main business that I was doing. But by making the decision to not do business anymore, to not sell anything anymore, to not create any products that you launch and that you offer to people for a fixed price, But transitioning into the gift fully, this feels like a profound step. And at the same time, one that I cannot not do. Out of all the reasons we explored today. Yeah. And besides enriching my lives on a beautiful way, and I don't mean that financially can be a part of it. I'm looking forward to a moment in time where I'll be receiving gifts that are way, way, way higher than all the money I could earn in a traditional business setting. Maybe that will be the case. Maybe this will be that moment. Will be the ultimate proof that this is working. I don't know if it will happen. I don't know if it will happen anytime soon. But that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I sense that it's most in alignment with my deepest personal growth. Holding this vacuum, like being in the surrender of not knowing what will happen, just putting it out there, fully trusting people. I know that this is the path of maximum growth for me personally, and that's why I will embark on this journey. And I have the feeling that it can bring the most healing to the world, because living in the gift is an active expression of interbeing, of knowing that it's not about my well-being at the expense of yours, or your well-being at the expense of mine, which is always the case in traditional economics settings. There's like a transaction. Okay, I as a customer want to pay as little as possible, and you as a company want to extract as much money as possible from me. So it's either like I win and you lose, or you win and I lose. But I don't want to create win-win situations. Not only win-win situations, win-win-win situations. Not like I'm winning and you are winning, but nature is losing, which is which is a prevailing setting in even the old world, where like companies and governments are shaking hands and they are both thriving and they are both earning a lot of money, but nature pays the bill in the end. No, I want to create win-win-win situations where you are thriving, I'm thriving, and the whole is thriving too. This is for me what is nourished by the sense of interbeing. We are one. If we are one, my well-being can only go hand in hand with your well-being and the well-being of the whole. And I feel that working in the gift is a prerequisite to create that, to manifest that. So yeah, the path is clear. Let's see how it will unfold. I'm very curious. I'm very curious to the next steps. Yeah. So many people already asked me over the past days and weeks, the more I shared this. Even in the last workshop, I did the evolutionary path. If you didn't participate, you can dive into the recording. Of course, it's a gift too. I will link that in the show notes, where we explored how we as human beings arrived at this pivotal moment in time, what is taking place right now, and how we might thrive in the future ahead. In this workshop, people ask me like, Robert, how can I do this? How can I live in the new paradigm and still thrive financially while I'm living in old paradigm circumstances? And all this, and of course my personal decision that I made right now, inspired me to host a setting, a co-creative setting around this, a workshop where we explore how to live in the gift, where I can share everything that I learned over the past 4 years, which is not the blueprint, which is not this solution, but there were many important lessons that I was able to learn over the past 4 years of, I think receiving around 100,000 euros in gifts over various settings and in various occasions. So even in like technical terms, it works. So I'm not starving. I'm not like, it works. But it was a long process, and it was asking a lot from myself. And there were a lot of experiments that I did that didn't work for nobody involved. And I want to share everything that is there. And I feel that like a 3-hour workshop can be a much more appropriate setting than this like one-sided conversation here in the podcast. And we can step into conversation. So that's why I will be hosting a workshop about living in the gift. If you want to participate in that, I will link that in the show notes, all the details, when it will take place and so on. And then we explore this even further. And of course, this workshop is a gift too. So you can just participate, and there's no paywall. And I'm looking forward to see you there, either live or in the recording. With that being said, I think it's time to close this podcast episode today. Very grateful for all the items that guided our exploration, the gift of the guava, the underlying spirit of interbeing, and still the old world that we are inhabiting, and the money that we created, and the difficulty to align all of that, leading to our biggest personal growth. Because I think that if the new world would be just there and we could just live in abundance, then an important growth process on the way would not materialize. So that's why I'm grateful for even that, and for the camera, for this spirit of documenting more, of sharing more, of transparency. This is an invitation for even more transparency for the future. Yeah. All right. That's it for today. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your courage of exploring these questions with me. I'm looking forward to the next space here in the Gaia's Custodians podcast. And if you feel the urge to share something, then text me on Instagram. I'm absolutely looking forward to feedback, to questions, to thoughts, to ideas, to concerns, whatever is coming up. Looking forward to read from you. With that being said, sending a lot of love from the Balinese forests, and I wish you a beautiful day. Thank you for your gift today. It was a pleasure to share mine with you.